If you're over 60 and you've ever opened your refrigerator, pulled out last night's leftovers, and thought, I'll just warm this up, I need you to pause with me for a moment. Because what I'm about to share may change the way you look at reheated food forever. Recently, more doctors have started raising concerns about something many families do every single day without thinking twice reheating certain foods. And while reheating itself isn't automatically dangerous, the way some foods chemically change after being cooked, cooled, and heated again can create compounds that place extra stress on your body. Over time, that stress may contribute to inflammation and cellular damage, two factors that play a role in serious diseases, including pancreatic cancer. Now, let me be very clear. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to inform you. Pancreatic cancer is one of the most aggressive and silent forms of cancer. It often shows very few symptoms in the early stages. That's why prevention and awareness matter so much, especially for adults over 55 whose bodies don't detoxify and repair cells as efficiently as they once did. What many people don't realize is that when certain foods are reheated, especially repeatedly, they can produce harmful substances like advanced glycation end products, AGs, oxidized fats, and potentially carcinogenic compounds. These substances may increase oxidative stress inside the body. And when that stress builds over years, it can affect sensitive organs like the pancreas. Think about common leftovers: rice, processed meats, fried foods, cooking oils, even certain starchy dishes. Most of us assume that if it smells fine and looks fine, it's safe. But safety isn't just about food poisoning. It's also about long-term impact. Today, I'm going to walk you through 5 specific foods that doctors are urging people to be cautious about reheating. Not to panic, not to throw away everything in your fridge, but to make smarter, safer choices. One of the most commonly reheated foods in homes around the world is rice. It feels harmless. It's simple, affordable, and easy to store for the next day. Many families cook a large batch and reheat portions throughout the week without a second thought. But what most people don't realize is that rice can become problematic depending on how it is handled after cooking and how many times it is reheated. The issue does not begin with the rice itself. Freshly cooked rice is generally safe when eaten right away. The concern starts when rice is left sitting at room temperature for too long before being refrigerated. Cooked rice can harbor spores of a bacterium called Bacillus cereus. These spores can survive the cooking process. If rice is left out on the counter for hours, those spores can multiply and produce toxins. Reheating the rice may kill bacteria, but it does not always destroy the toxins already formed. While this is often discussed in the context of food poisoning, repeated improper storage and reheating also add another layer of stress to the body. Beyond bacterial concerns, there is also the issue of repeated heating. When rice is reheated multiple times, especially at high temperatures, its starch structure changes. Each heating cycle can increase the formation of compounds that contribute to oxidative stress in the body. Oxidative stress happens when there is an imbalance between free radicals and antioxidants. Over time, chronic oxidative stress may damage cells, including those in sensitive organs like the pancreas. For older adults, this matters even more. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at repairing damaged cells and neutralizing harmful compounds. The pancreas plays a crucial role in digestion and blood sugar regulation. It is already under pressure in many seniors due to insulin resistance, prediabetes, or type 2 diabetes. Adding additional inflammatory stress through poor food handling habits may not seem significant in a single meal, but small habits repeated daily over years can add up. Another concern comes from how rice is often reheated. Many people microwave rice until it is extremely hot, sometimes drying it out and then adding oils or sauces afterward. If those oils have also been heated before, especially refined vegetable oils, the combination can introduce oxidized fats into the meal. Oxidized fats are linked to inflammation in the body, and chronic inflammation is considered one of the key underlying factors in the development of many chronic diseases, including certain cancers. This does not mean you must stop eating rice completely. It means being mindful. Rice should be cooled quickly after cooking and stored in the refrigerator within an hour. It should be reheated only once, heated thoroughly, and not left sitting out again. Small practical changes, like cooking smaller portions or freezing leftovers in single servings, can reduce repeated reheating cycles. When it comes to protecting long-term health, especially pancreatic health, awareness of everyday habits can make a quiet but meaningful difference. Processed meats are another category that deserves serious attention, especially when it comes to reheating. Foods like sausages, hot dogs, bacon, deli meats, and packaged lunch slices are already heavily preserved before they even reach your kitchen. They often contain nitrates and nitrites, which are added to maintain color and prevent bacterial growth. While these additives serve a purpose, they can become more concerning when exposed to high heat, especially during reheating. When processed meats are cooked or reheated at high temperatures, particularly through frying, grilling, or microwaving until very hot, chemical reactions can occur that form compounds known as nitrosamines. Nitrosamines are substances that have been studied for their potential carcinogenic effects. Research has suggested a link between frequent consumption of processed meats and increased risk of certain cancers, including digestive system cancers. The pancreas, being part of the digestive system and closely involved in processing fats and proteins, can be indirectly affected by long-term dietary exposure to inflammatory compounds. The concern becomes greater when processed meats are reheated multiple times. Each heating cycle can increase the breakdown of fats and proteins within the meat. This breakdown may generate advanced glycation end products, often referred to as AGs. These compounds are formed when proteins or fats combine with sugars in the presence of heat. AGs are known to promote inflammation and oxidative stress in the body. Chronic inflammation has been recognized as a contributing factor in the development of many long-term diseases. For older adults, the impact can be more pronounced. As the body ages, detoxification systems in the liver and antioxidant defenses may not function as efficiently as they once did. The pancreas, already responsible for producing digestive enzymes and regulating blood sugar, may experience additional strain in the presence of systemic inflammation. While eating a reheated slice of bacon once is unlikely to cause harm, regular habits of consuming reheated processed meats can gradually increase the inflammatory load on the body. Another issue is the fat content in processed meats. These products are often high in saturated fats. When reheated, especially in a pan or microwave without moisture, fats can oxidize. Oxidized fats are unstable molecules that can contribute to cellular damage. Over time, repeated exposure to oxidized fats may increase oxidative stress throughout the body. This stress does not target one organ alone. It affects tissues system-wide, including those of the pancreas. It is also important to consider portion size and frequency. Many people rely on processed meats because they are convenient, affordable, and easy to prepare. However, relying on them as daily staples, especially when reheated repeatedly, increases exposure to harmful compounds. Choosing fresh, unprocessed protein sources more often and preparing only what is needed for a single meal can reduce the need for reheating. Making simple adjustments such as limiting processed meats, avoiding charring during reheating, and using gentler heating methods can reduce potential risks while supporting overall long-term health. Cooking oils and fried foods are another area where reheating can quietly introduce risk over time. Many households reuse oil after frying or reheat leftover fried items like chicken, fish, or potatoes the next day. It feels economical and practical. However, oils are chemically sensitive substances. Once heated to high temperatures, especially during deep frying, their structure begins to change. When those same oils are reheated again, the changes become more pronounced. When oil is exposed to high heat, oxygen, and light, it undergoes oxidation. This process produces unstable molecules known as free radicals. Free radicals can damage cells in the body by attacking cell membranes, proteins, and even DNA. The pancreas, like all organs, is vulnerable to long-term exposure to oxidative stress. While the body does have antioxidant systems to defend against free radicals, those defenses weaken with age, and repeated exposure to oxidized fats can tip the balance in the wrong direction. Certain vegetable oils, especially those high in polyunsaturated fats, are particularly prone to oxidation when heated repeatedly. Oils such as soybean, corn, and sunflower oil can degrade quickly under high temperatures. Each reheating cycle increases the concentration of harmful byproducts such as aldehydes and lipid peroxides. These compounds have been studied for their potential role in inflammation and cellular damage. Chronic inflammation, especially in digestive organs, is considered a contributing factor in the development of serious health conditions over time. Leftover fried foods present a similar concern. When a food is fried, it absorbs some of the cooking oil. If that food is stored and then reheated, the absorbed fats are heated again. This second heating can further oxidize the fats already inside the food. Microwaving or pan-frying leftover fried items may seem harmless, but it can increase the formation of advanced glycation end products. These compounds are known to promote inflammation and may accumulate in tissues over time. For older adults, this is particularly relevant. The pancreas plays a central role in regulating blood sugar and producing digestive enzymes. Diets high in oxidized fats and inflammatory compounds can place additional stress on metabolic processes. Many seniors already deal with insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes, conditions that directly involve the pancreas. Adding repeated exposure to degraded cooking oils may contribute to metabolic strain. Another overlooked factor is the visual appearance of reheated oil. It may look darker, thicker, or have a slightly different smell. These changes are signs of chemical breakdown. Even if food still tastes acceptable, its internal chemical composition may not be the same as when it was freshly cooked. Over time, regular consumption of reheated fried foods may increase systemic inflammation. Choosing more stable oils with higher smoke points, avoiding reuse of frying oil, and minimizing reheating of fried leftovers can reduce exposure to harmful byproducts. Small adjustments in cooking habits can gradually lower oxidative stress and support long-term digestive and pancreatic health. Potatoes and other starchy foods may seem harmless, especially when they are home cooked and stored for later. Many families prepare baked potatoes, mashed potatoes, pasta, or casseroles in large portions, planning to reheat them over the next few days. While starch itself is not dangerous, the way it changes during cooking, cooling, and reheating can affect the body in subtle ways over time. When starchy foods are cooked at high temperatures, especially by frying or roasting, a compound called acrylamide can form. Acrylamide develops when sugars react with an amino acid called asparagine under high heat. This reaction is more likely to occur when foods are browned or crispy. If those foods are then reheated, particularly at high temperatures again, the concentration of certain heat-related byproducts can increase. Although research is ongoing, acrylamide has raised concerns in scientific studies because of its potential link to cancer risk in long-term exposure scenarios. Another issue with reheated starchy foods involves repeated heating cycles. When potatoes or pasta are cooled and reheated multiple times, their molecular structure changes. While some of these changes, such as the formation of resistant starch, can have digestive benefits, repeated exposure to high temperatures may also increase the formation of advanced glycation end products. These compounds form when carbohydrates combine with proteins or fats during heating. AGs are known to promote oxidative stress and inflammation inside the body. For older adults, the concern is not about one single meal, it is about patterns. The pancreas is responsible for producing insulin to manage blood sugar levels. Meals high in refined starches can cause blood sugar spikes, especially when paired with reheated fats or sauces. Frequent blood sugar fluctuations can place stress on pancreatic cells. Over years, this metabolic strain may contribute to reduced pancreatic efficiency. Improper storage of starchy leftovers also plays a role. If cooked potatoes or pasta are left out at room temperature before refrigeration, bacteria can multiply. While this is more commonly associated with food poisoning, the body still must respond to toxins and inflammatory triggers when contaminated food is consumed. Even mild digestive distress can activate inflammatory pathways that affect multiple organs. Microwaving starchy leftovers until they are overly dry or extremely hot can further degrade their nutritional quality. Vitamins sensitive to heat, such as certain B vitamins, may decrease with each reheating cycle. This reduces the overall nutritional value of the meal while leaving behind compounds formed through repeated heating. Over time, a diet high in reheated, heavily processed starches may provide calories without protective nutrients that help defend cells from damage. Choosing to prepare smaller portions, reheating only once, and avoiding excessive browning can reduce exposure to unwanted compounds. Pairing starchy foods with fresh vegetables and lean proteins can also help balance blood sugar responses and reduce metabolic strain on the pancreas over the long term. Mushrooms and certain cooked vegetables are often considered some of the healthiest foods on the table. They are rich in antioxidants, fiber, vitamins, and protective plant compounds that support immune function and overall well-being. However, the way they are stored and reheated can influence how they affect the body. The concern is not that vegetables themselves are harmful, but that repeated heating can alter delicate nutrients and change the chemical balance within these foods. Mushrooms, in particular, contain proteins and amino acids that can degrade when exposed to repeated heat. After being cooked once, mushrooms should ideally be eaten soon or stored properly in the refrigerator and reheated only once. When they are reheated multiple times, especially at high temperatures, their protein structure can break down further. This breakdown may create compounds that are harder to digest and may trigger mild digestive irritation in some individuals. While this irritation may not be dramatic, repeated low-grade digestive stress can contribute to inflammation over time. Leafy greens and nitrate-rich vegetables, such as spinach and celery, can also change when reheated repeatedly. Naturally occurring nitrates in these vegetables are not harmful when consumed fresh. In fact, they can support healthy blood vessel function. However, when these vegetables are cooked, cooled, and reheated multiple times, nitrates can convert into nitrites and potentially other reactive compounds under certain conditions. The concern is not about occasional reheating, but about repeated cycles combined with improper storage. Over time, exposure to reactive nitrogen compounds may contribute to oxidative stress in the body. Another issue is nutrient degradation. Many vegetables contain heat-sensitive vitamins, including vitamin C and certain B vitamins. Each reheating cycle reduces the concentration of these protective nutrients. While the vegetable may still appear colorful and appetizing, its antioxidant capacity may be lower than when it was freshly prepared. Antioxidants are essential for neutralizing free radicals that can damage cells, including those in the pancreas. A diet that gradually loses antioxidant support due to repeated reheating may weaken the body's natural defense systems. Older adults should be particularly mindful because digestion and detoxification processes change with age. The pancreas works closely with the digestive system to release enzymes that help break down food. When foods are repeatedly reheated and chemically altered, digestion can become slightly more demanding. This does not mean vegetables become dangerous, but their altered state may reduce benefits while introducing small amounts of stress. Safe practices can make a meaningful difference. Cooling vegetables quickly after cooking, storing them properly, reheating only once, and avoiding high heat during reheating can help preserve nutrients and reduce unwanted chemical changes. Incorporating more freshly prepared vegetables whenever possible supports antioxidant intake and overall digestive balance. Over time, simple habits like these can quietly contribute to long-term pancreatic and metabolic health. This conversation is not about fear. It is not about throwing away every leftover in your refrigerator or feeling guilty about meals you've enjoyed for years. It is about awareness. Small everyday habits, especially the ones we repeat without thinking, can shape our long-term health more than we realize.
Pancreatic health does not depend on one single food. It depends on patterns. It depends on how often we expose our bodies to inflammatory compounds, oxidized fats, excessive heat damage, and repeated reheating cycles. And it also depends on how consistently we give our bodies fresh, nutrient-rich meals that support repair and protection.
If you are over 55 or 60, your body deserves a little more care, not because it is weak, but because it has carried you through decades of life. The pancreas works quietly every day, regulating blood sugar, supporting digestion, balancing hormones without asking for attention. Supporting it does not require extreme diets. It requires practical wisdom. Cook smaller portions, store food properly, avoid reheating multiple times, reduce processed meats, limit reused oils, and prioritize fresh vegetables and balanced meals whenever possible. None of these steps are dramatic, but together they reduce oxidative stress, lower inflammation, and support overall metabolic stability. That is where prevention truly begins. Not in panic, but in informed choices made calmly and consistently. Your kitchen can either add stress to your body or quietly protect it. The difference is often in the details,